Power up. Get over here!
Hello, everybody out there on YouTube. Once again, it is the three middle-aged guys just bullshitting about nothing. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Grandma's one.
Yes, and this week has been an interesting, very busy week as far as the industry goes, hardware-wise, not only for video games, but also for smartphones. On September 7th, earlier this week, Apple had their keynote speech like they do every year, where they went ahead and they unveiled a lot of new products, mostly their new iPhone 7, I believe the 7 Plus, and also the new Apple Watch. And what a lot of people didn't really expect was the fact that Shigeru Miyamoto himself came out on stage and he announced that there was going to be a brand new Nintendo title that was coming out to Apple iPhones called Super Mario Run. It was later revealed that, yes, it is indeed coming to the Android, but yeah, this is the first directly Nintendo-made game for digital devices other than Nintendo game systems that was going to hit the market, and it's going to hit later on this year. He was pretty much doing it to sell the new iPhones with Apple. Guys, what are your thoughts?
We knew it was coming.
Sooner or later it was going to happen.
No, sooner rather than later because of the success of Pokemon Go.
Yeah. But on that end, Pokemon Go wasn't developed directly by Nintendo, though.
Okay, that's fine. But Mario is Miyamoto's baby.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be developed by anybody but him.
Yeah, he was had his hands on it. What about you, Grey Mouse? What are your thoughts on it?
I'm excited. Because I think I'm the only one in this group that actually has an iOS.
Are you going to get the iPhone 7?
No.
Why not?
No error. Jack? I'm good with the i6.
Yeah, but it'll be obsolete in like 3 months.
It's already obsolete. What are you talking about? Just the reality of. But anyway, back with the Mario Run. That is very interesting. To touch technology to be able to jump Mario or to navigate Mario through the levels, I guess, lack of better words. But looking at the trailer, that is Mario through and through. I mean, it looks like you're going through World 1, World 2, World 3, World 4. I don't know how they're going to actually have it because when I looked at the demo, it didn't what world you're in. I think it's just like just a run. You just run across the board, and it's kind of randomized. So I don't know. I'm interested in it though. I mean, I'll probably download it as soon as it comes available.
Yep. I mean, it's basically Super Mario Run is an endless runner type game where you are running right. Okay, you're doing the standard Nintendo thing from the 8-bit days and running right, and the player controls when Mario jumps. The big attraction that tied it together with Apple's new products is that in order to make Mario jump higher, you have to press on the iPhone harder. It makes use of 3D glass, which is one of the things that Apple has been trying to push heavily with a lot of their new iOS products. Funny thing is, the Surface came out with that a lot earlier, but nobody gave a fuck about it. But that's another story altogether. Yeah, nobody used it. At least not the folks who weren't doing real work.
Well, we knew this was coming out. When was it? When Nintendo announced? Was it E3 that they announced? That was before that, right?
No, they did not announce Mario Run.
No, not Mario Run, but they did announce that they were going to have Nintendo games on portables, on cell phones. They did announce that. Maybe not at E3, but we've known for.
Yeah, they did that. They did that earlier in the year. In fact,
that's what I'm saying. So this was no surprise. We were just waiting to see what games were going to be available, and Mario Run is the first.
But the major debate about that was you're not going to actually put Nintendo console type titles on a portable device. That was the major debate because everybody was like, okay, you're not going to see a normal Zelda or Super Mario or anything like that. It has to be made specifically for mobile devices. And people didn't think it could be done. And we were like, yes, it could.
Yeah, there are a lot of simple gameplay can be handled on it. And in fact, in the same particular meeting, they also announced that Pokemon Go is going to be coming to the Apple Watch, which means there's going to be a lot of motherfuckers running around like they're in science fiction movies, doing the whole fucking scanner thing. All right, talking into their wrists and shit like they've got the super spy decoder ring they used to get from the fucking Apple Jacks boxes and shit.
I read you, Zordon.
That's not my bag of tea there, man. Tell you what.
But
wait, do you have an Apple Watch?
No.
Yeah. Again, I think that was kind of inevitable. But yeah, Mario Run going to Apple. I think everybody expected it. They didn't quite expect that Miyamoto himself was going to be announcing to the whole world, hey, by the way, we're partnered up with these guys, and we're going to be doing a lot of really cool stuff with them. Mm-hmm. Granted, the titles are going to show up on Android sooner or later.
I just had an awesome vision.
Shoot.
Metroid Run.
No.
Where you're where you're going, you're going through various
no.
Yes.
No.
It's gonna happen.
It better not happen before Metroid goes to fucking console or goes back to 2D.
It will. Watch.
Metroid 5. If Metroid 5 is a mobile app, I will be truly, truly upset.
That's going to happen. And the reason why you're getting and the reason why you're getting pissed off at it is because it's a possibility.
Again, if Metroid 5 is a fucking mobile app, I will be upset.
I'm just saying. It starts with Mario, and there might be a Zelda run too.
No, but we know Mario's going to end up on the NX. We don't have any idea about any fucking Metroids.
So let me ask you a question. Is that a selling point for you to the NX if a Metroid goes on it?
If they have a 2D Metroid and if it's Metroid 5, that's a system seller.
I think we've probably covered that already, and that's kind of off topic to what we're trying to cover here.
Okay, let's go back to Mario Run. Mario Run. Again, we look, mobile games. Nintendo announced it, and something like this, why not? And it's by Miyamoto himself. It's not like the game is going to be bad or messed up or fucked. It's going to be a Mario.
Yep.
And that's basically gold.
Yep. The game right now is slated for later on this year. They haven't yet announced the retail price for it. It's not going to be a free-to-play game. So hopefully it's not going to be laden with microtransactions.
And that's something.
Yeah. Because if it's a free-to-play game, then I can bet you dollars to donuts that it's going to be laden with microtransactions. And then they'll try to nickel and dime the crap out of you for, the ability to jump higher.
No. That right there just pissed me the fuck. No.
You're gonna put your amiibos on your iPhone?
It has near field communication. It can work with that, actually.
Exactly.
I don't think it would work.
No, it can work.
It can work.
It has the capability to do that. So that's
okay. With the with what you were saying with the microtransactions, yeah, you can purchase the big mushroom. You can purchase, yeah. Seriously, you're going to be able to purchase the gold Mario suit, maybe.
I really hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that doesn't happen. But like I said, it's actually going to be sold at a retail price. So hopefully that's not the case.
The funniest thing about that is the only way you go backwards is if you're double jumping, or if there are arrows that point back.
Yep. I am the funny thing is that the way that it's going to be set up, if you've seen some of the Mario hack levels where people just sit there and they have Mario go ahead and just run on his own, and then it just runs itself while he goes ahead and he gets bounced off of things left and right. That's pretty much how the change of direction, I envision the change of direction to happen. The only thing that the player is going to have to worry about is jump. You know, it's, again, like we've said, it's something that makes sense, and I don't think any of us were really surprised by it. Only thing I was really surprised by when I was watching the keynote speech at work was, oh shit, that's Shigeru Miyamoto on fucking stage. You know? And I was just hoping that he wasn't going to be announcing anything that was going to make any big changes to projects that we work on at my funky company, because that's happened with other titles. So, but you know, it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, it's cool. Nintendo's going ahead and they're working with Apple. They're going whole hog into this mobile thing.
Mario Kart Mobile is next.
Well, they already have a Fire Emblem, a mobile Fire Emblem, and a mobile Animal Crossing announced. Those were actually supposed to come out at the end of this year, around the same time as Super Mario Run. Those, as a result, have actually been pushed back to the beginning of 2017. So I guess the announcement isn't all, you know, roses and fuzzy puppies and shit like that. There was a downside to it, and that's if folks were looking forward to that Fire Emblem game and that Animal Crossing game, which, thinking about it, makes complete sense for a tablet or a smart device. Yeah, they're going to have to wait a little bit longer, because those are going to be releasing out in first quarter 2017. Yep.
Star Fox Mobile, Mario Kart Mobile. Put F-Zero on this. No, I don't think F-Zero on the mobile would.
I think it could work. I think it could work.
You don't think it'll be too fast?
No, not on the devices that are out there right now. As long as it's not running like some stupid resolution on it. And let's be honest, it doesn't need to run like this super high resolution, because it's only a 4.3 inch screen. It doesn't make sense.
What about iPads and iPad minis?
iPads and iPad minis
and big ass tablets that certain people have, and
even the largest iPad that I've seen is something like a 13-inch.
You know what also will be funny? If they somehow get this on smart TVs.
They could conceivably go ahead and port this over to Apple TV. Conceivably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Super Mario Run, man, like Raymouse was saying, this is basically just a traditional Mario. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Yes, pressing harder to jump may be a bit of an issue.
I'm expecting to see a lot of broken iPhones when parents sit there and say, "Hey, look, little Johnny, this is my brand new iPhone 7. You want to play Super Mario?"
Well, they already got a game called Dungeon Run. It's pretty much the same concept, where you just run through an obstacle course and you touch your what do you call it? The glass to jump and whatever.
Yeah, there are multiple endless runner type games that are out there. Heck, Flappy Bird is an endless runner type game.
I just thought of a Dave and Buster's version of this.
And that would be
Super Mario Run. You know they have Candy Crush on big ass touch screens, and even the fucking Ninja Fruit shit. They have that places like Dave and Buster's. Super Mario Run may not be that far off.
You know what's funny is that one of the modes on Super Mario Run is called Toadstool Rally, which is a multiplayer mode. Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what, though? This is a good thing. This is definitely a good thing.
Well, it's because of how it was done. This is not going to be anything really, really difficult for people.
No.
You know, because like, look, the Kirby Canvas or Rainbow Curses, that has touchscreen written all over it.
Yep.
You could actually do that. I'm surprised that Nintendo hasn't, honestly, but that may be coming down the road. Mario Kart.
I would be surprised if it doesn't come out down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, if it doesn't, but
I don't think the Mario game, the racing games, I don't think they'll be able to go on there.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they can.
I
think they can. Easily.
I think it's too much. I just think it's too much precision.
Not at all. Not at all. All they have to do is they could sit there. They could dumb down the steering reaction just a little bit, like they did with the older Mario Karts, starting with the Super Nintendo that used the digital pad, and then just like what the theme is doing, use the accelerometer on the iOS device to go ahead and steer.
There are already racing games on portables that do that.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised. No. Kirby, what? There was another title that I was thinking of off the top of my head that would that just made a lot of sense to go ahead and throw on iOS. But you know, the funny thing about it is that the like I said before, when we touched the subject of Nintendo actually going out and publishing for mobile devices, was that there have been a lot of people for multiple years who are saying Nintendo should just give up the console race and go third party and just make games on every other console. And the funny thing is that once Nintendo went out of their way to start making mobile games and having their attached, people are like, oh, Nintendo's just shitting all over their console fans. Look, the one thing that's going to happen, and the one thing that is bound to happen with Nintendo putting out games on mobile, and I've said this before, out of all the first-party publishers out there, Nintendo is the best at finding new gamers, turning casual gamers into hardcore gamers. It's one of the things that they do. They've done that with multiple titles. In fact, a lot of people most of the people playing Pokemon Go are adults. All right, who stepped away from playing Pokemon, many of them for decades, and now they're back to that. And guess what? These are the same adults who want to go ahead and pick up a 3DS now, or a Wii or a Wii U, to go ahead and play a fucking Pokemon title.
I believe it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they have to do. Nintendo always does that. They have a way of getting a hold of new fans. Not that they've forgotten old school fans. In fact, Nintendo's done quite a few interesting things other than just handling mobile. What a lot of people don't know, or if you sat down and watched the Nintendo Direct that went on about a week or two ago, Nintendo has gone out of their way to release Super Nintendo games on Virtual Console for the 3DS. Granted, they're only available if you have a new 3DS, but they've got them there. Gray Mouse, you have the list, don't you? Do you have it up?
No, I don't. I actually don't. Yeah. But I know it was Super Street Fighter 2, Alpha 2, Street Fighter 2, Castlevania 4. What was the others? Zelda, Link to the Past, Super Metroid,
Super Mario World, Super Punch Out,
Mario Kart,
Earthbound. Yeah, amongst others. There's around I believe
Mega Man 7.
Yeah. Yeah, there's over a dozen games that they have available on the Nintendo eShop, which I think is cool. A majority of them are set. They're priced at $7.99, $8, except for Earthbound for some reason, which is set at $9.99 for $10. I have no idea why. And it really doesn't make any sense because it's not like you have to deal with physical copies and availability and stock on fucking digital games. Really, Nintendo? Really?
You know what? Another thing that doesn't make sense about all this?
What?
Those Street Fighter games on Virtual Console. First of all, I understand that Nintendo wants to make certain things available and so on and so forth. But the funniest thing about those titles is that there are arcade versions of those games made for other portables, namely the PSP. So the Super Nintendo versions of them, I don't get that. Mario Kart is a good thing to have, but the original Mario Kart, is it going to be 2 players compatible? Is the wireless going to be compatible with that? Don't think so.
Actually, I believe it is.
I believe it will.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiplayer is available. Ad hoc, what's that, connection via wireless is available.
Okay, then that's interesting.
Yep.
Because the battle mode would be the best part about that.
Yep.
If you really Super Metroid, okay, that's a no-brainer. Yeah, Mario World is a no-brainer.
Link,
Earthbound,
no-brainer.
say again?
Link to the Past is a no-brainer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't already have it for the 3DS.
Yeah.
True. Well, you know what's funny is that the Link to the Past, what's that? There's Link Between Worlds. Link to the Past itself, the Super Nintendo version. This is the first time that the Super Nintendo version is available on it. They didn't do any other things. Let's see here. Some of the other titles that are on there that we didn't mention. Super Castlevania 4 is on there.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah, Great Mouse did mention that.
Yeah. Mega Man X is on there.
Yep.
Kirby's Dream Course. Final Fight. Now, that one I could probably pass up. Legend of the Mystical Ninja.
All those Capcom games, you can immediately get passed up.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to throw a new 3DS.
Okay. Then we have, let's see here, Donkey Kong 3.
Even though Super Ghouls and Ghosts was available on the Capcom collection on the damn PSP.
Yeah, but the thing is that we can't sit there and take that into consideration.
And on a GBA.
Now, that's one thing that has stuck with me ever since the announcement of the 3DS is the fact that they don't have GBA games on their virtual console, which doesn't make sense for me for the fact that if you were an original adopter of the 3DS, you were actually given, through Nintendo, access to a set of GBA titles to play on your 3DS. So it's not because it's not fucking possible on the console. It's because Nintendo doesn't make it available there.
And wait, there are certain games that should be mandatory to put there from their portable library already.
Let's see here. Going on with other titles that they have, they've got Legend of the Mystical Ninja. I'm just kind of surprised that they've got Konami titles on here.
It's the only way Konami's going to make any fucking money.
Yeah, they've got Contra 3, The Alien Wars, which is actually a good choice, a really good choice.
Castlevania.
All of the Donkey Kong countries. See here. Pilot Wings.
You know, that is weird that on the Virtual Console, Nintendo has like Zelda Seasons and Ages, which is a Game Boy Color games.
Well,
so why aren't they having GBA games? I don't understand.
Well, I can understand like the older games because it takes less to run them, but I've always contended that look, if the original DS could run GBA games, that the 3DS should be able to run them. I understand they don't have the slot, but since they've got Virtual Console there, that you should have access to them through Virtual Console. And like I said earlier, is that the thing that really, really bothers me is that they have no way of saying that it's not possible to do that the hardware can't do that, because they put fucking software on the hardware right at the very, very beginning of the fucking launch. People have copies on their fucking SD cards, and they have them available.
Yeah.
And just
see, out of all the games though that you named that's going on the virtual console, Final Fight is the one that I don't understand. Especially if it's the Super Nintendo version. I don't understand that. It's missing stages, people.
Here's the thing: they as far as the third-party games that are out there, they still have to sit there and talk to the original publishers. As far as Capcom and Konami goes, hey, look, you guys, is it okay for us to go ahead and put this out here? They're still going to go ahead and get their cut. Now, are those publishers going out of their way to line up and throw things at the virtual console? Not all of them. But it's still their choice. I'm not going to sit there and blame Nintendo for the fact that Final Fight, the Super Nintendo version, exists, because that's not their fault.
No. I mean, on Capcom side.
Yeah.
No. I'm not blaming Nintendo for putting it on there, but I don't understand that version. If they would have put Final Fight 2 or Final Fight 3, those two would be much better choices, in my opinion. Because
okay, to add, the virtual console on the 3DS, they don't have Game Boy Advance games on it, but however, they do have Game Boy Advance games on the Wii U virtual console. So that's why they're not doing it. They're available on the Wii U virtual console.
They still should be available for the 3DS in a new.
No, I understand.
And that makes it so much more frustrating and aggravating to me, because pretty much you're telling me the only reason why you don't want to go ahead and give me access to this on your 3DS is because you want me to buy a Wii U.
They got to fill them somehow.
It doesn't make sense to me. Lordy.
Pilot wings?
Yeah. I don't.
Yep.
The only thing that I could think of is that I don't. Here's the thing: if I'm looking down that particular set of titles there, all of them easily fall within some sort of specified data size. So I don't think it's like what Microsoft used to do with like indie games that were put out on Xbox Live. Oh, if you put out a game on Xbox Live that's an indie game, it can only be like 600 megs or something like that. It was like one of the stupid things that they did. I remember when Castlevania Symphony of the Night first came out on Xbox Live for the 360 all the way back in like 2005, 2006. It was missing fucking sound effects. And that was because they had to make room for it to make to fit in the ROM size that Microsoft dictated to everybody who was going to put things up on Xbox Live.
The thing about it is, on the game like that, you can't do that.
Yeah, but like if I'm looking at the Super Nintendo games on Virtual Console for the 3DS, the ones that they have, none of those ROMs are bigger than 4 megs. Now, some of them might have, might require special chips that were on the cartridges that might require a little bit of emulation work, but none of the ones that I see on there require anything really, really special. So I don't know why, certain other games don't show up. Maybe it's because the third-party publishers haven't gotten around to putting them out. Maybe they want them on slow trickle, because guess what? You're not going to get those Super Nintendo games, those NES and Super Nintendo games, or Game Boy or Game Boy Color or even GBA games, no matter if it's on the Wii U or whatnot, on any other fucking console other than the 3DS or the Wii U. Maybe they want slow trickle.
I think the reason why Nintendo put the Street Fighter games or the Capcom games for that matter was that that was what the fans wanted. I mean, because how many? I mean,
Well, at least those games were more complete than Street Fighter V.
At launch, yeah. Yep.
And that's a very fucked up thing to say at this point.
But I mean, how long have fans been asking for the Super Nintendo on the Virtual Console? For a while now. Almost since the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a good start, but like you said, I really think that Nintendo is really doing the slow drip, on the Super Nintendo games for the Virtual Console.
Well, the only other thing that I think that kind of makes sense, and this may not make gamers happy about it, but Nintendo and any other third-party publisher who sits there and looks at converting their games over for emulation on Virtual Console, in their eyes, they realize that any hours that they put toward doing a conversion toward emulation takes away from any projects that they have currently coming out on current systems.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to also know that all their developers aren't focused on a Virtual Console. I mean, there could be 100 employees and only 10 employees are doing that. Whatever. I don't know what goes behind the curtains, but
when you're a penny pinching publisher, it doesn't matter if it's 100 employees or 10 of them.
Right.
It's still hours taken away from a title that they're planning on selling out at retail for $69.99 plus shitload of fucking DLC.
I'm surprised
right now.
I'm surprised that they haven't put GoldenEye.
No, they can't. There's some licensing issues with that. I read an article about maybe 2 weeks ago about that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the same thing with Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2. There's some licensings that Sega no longer has.
Well, for the Shenmue, it's a totally different issue as far as all the licensing.
That's what I'm saying. It's a licensing issue.
But that's one of the main reasons why it couldn't go on Rare Replay.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I understand. I mean, it's not Microsoft's fault. It's just that the licenses are not in place. The stars didn't line up. So I mean, you can't blame the.
No, I'm not placing blame. I was just like surprised,
Yeah. Actually, I was really surprised that they got RC Pro-Am on there. To be quite honest.
Don't put Gyromite on a Virtual Console.
No. They can't do that.
Is it there?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I'm not gonna look.
Like, is it there?
Yeah, I'm not gonna look. So does it matter?
It's just not gonna look.
I'm not gonna look. It
What
really
am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Am I gonna use my my Rob amiibo to fucking move things to the left and the right?
If that was the case, I'd think that'd be really fucking cool.
I mean, I got them both here. I got them both sitting right here, the NES and the Famicom or the Famicom one. I got it all right there. So hey, whatever.
You would get Stack Up on the Virtual Console.
That would be an interesting thing, though. Now that I think about it, and the amiibo, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Okay, all right. Before we fall even further down the road in the pit, away from this, do we have any other thoughts, gentlemen, on Nintendo's new partnership with Apple, or stuff that's going on in Virtual Console that doesn't make complete sense to us?
My closing thoughts on that is that I'm glad that Nintendo is bringing their franchises to the mobile market. I was really surprised that they chose Apple, but it is what it is. And the Virtual Console, I'm always happy to have more games on that. Especially the SNES games like Castlevania 4. That's definitely a plus. And of course, Link to the Past and Super Metroid. F-Zero, I'm not going to argue those. But yeah, there are some, I don't know why a couple of these Street Fighters and a couple of these Capcom games are on there. But it is what it is. Maybe they thought they would sell. Those are my
They're gonna sell. I'm pretty sure they're gonna sell.
Like I said, those are more complete than Street Fighter 5.
At launch. You got to say at launch. Because Street Fighter 5 is complete now.
No, it's not. Still has. It's not. It's still missing people.
They're gonna add people, man. That's the
That
DLC.
means it's not complete.
Well, what? True.
I concur with you though, Gray Mouse, when you're saying good for Nintendo to have more games on the Virtual Console. I'm just a little bit disappointed that it's only for the new 3DS that you're gonna be able to have that.
Yeah.
I mean,
More marketing decisions to buy. More marketing pushes to make you buy new shit.
I can't do it. I mean, I'm not gonna get that Galaxy version, sparkling stars, and
Hey, when your Metroid 5 comes out for the new 3DS,
oh god,
I'm just saying. The one that you've been saying for the last couple years, man.
yeah.
Yep. I think as you know, what's funny is that a mobile Metroid. I will say that Metroid on portable consoles is one thing. Well, except for Federation Force. Damn, I can't even say that anymore.
What about Prime Hunters?
Yeah. No, Prime Hunters was fine. Okay, but up until just recently, you know, Metroid on portable was something I could count on as being good. But I can't say that anymore.
No.
With that said, we're going to go ahead and cut the bullshit on this particular subject. Thank you very much, everybody, for following us all the way to the end. If you're so kind, hit that like button, hit subscribe, leave us a comment below, especially if you think we missed anything. We're the three middle-aged guys just bullshitting about nothing. Our bullshit heads here. I am the Reverend.
The theme here.
Red Mouse 1.
Once again, for the benefits of common sense logic in gaming, go Nintendo on portable, and don't let Metroid 5 be a disappointment if it does come out. Have us earn our shit, not be told when to use it. Credits.